that if something goes wrong, it is very difficult to pinpoint where it happened.
Hi everyone. So far in this series we've focused on how to execute a successful digital transformation program. We've talked about things such as how to get started, what governance to put in place, how to secure your APIs and your integration platform, and also looked at adoption and scalability of that platform. Today, in the final episode of the series, we want to have a bit of a focus around what not to do and some of the challenges faced by organisations in the industry today. Vikram's just hoping you could give us a bit of insight into what you're hearing from business leaders about the more failing digital transformation projects.
There are three things which stand out, particularly talking about integration projects. Number one is that it's all out of control projects. Second is it's very expensive to build and maintain. And third is there's so much confusion between front-end automation, back-end automation, and robotics.
So why are things so expensive to build and maintain?
Well, if you take platforms like MuleSoft, what I am seeing in the market is that because the platform is very flexible and easy to get started on, it is promoted to start small in different pockets and then bring it all together. It brings its own benefits, but what it's also doing is enabling them to just go building APIs everywhere.
And what sort of additional challenges do you see of building so many APIs?
Well, one thing which I hear over and over again is that if something goes wrong, it is very difficult to pinpoint where it happened. So if some information in the front end is not as expected, how do you then narrow it down?
And is there no way that automation could help these companies? Is that something that they're putting in place?
Well, that's another dilemma for businesses. So automation, particularly robotic automation vendors, are saying robots for everyone, digital workers, and this can fix a lot of problems. The API vendors are saying use API-led connectivity and build integration between your systems, processes, data, but which one fits where is not clear. So what is front-end automation? What is back-end automation? And another thing which is very common happening in this process is the decisions are being made based on the processes which were created and documented 10 years ago, not based on how the processes are actually being used in the business. So where to start and how not to start is a big topic.
Yeah, I think there's a number of key points that you raised there, and a lot of those again come back to the whole point of considering the design at the outset, considering the design principles that you have in place for these different technologies, and making sure you're using the right technology for the right use case.
Well, I can tell you what has been going wrong. You know better what to do in the right way.
Absolutely. So I think Vikram's given us a bit of an insight there into some of the leaders that he's been speaking to for why some of these projects might fail. Throughout this series, we've talked about a number of the ways of making these type of projects very successful, how to get started, start small, how to put the right governance in place, how to secure your infrastructure and your application, and how to get the right adoption and scalability as the program drives forward. So we hope that's been a really useful insight throughout the series, and thanks for attending.
Thanks.
Thank you.